Welcome to the Electronic Visit Verification informational video for the Electronic Services Portal website, Time Entry for Providers. For general assistance with the Electronic Services Portal website, please contact the IHSS Service Desk at 866-376-7066. Select your preferred language and then select the Electronic Services Portal option. To access the Electronic Services Portal website, please visit www.etimesheets.ihss.ca.gov. In this video, we will discuss how to enter the hours you worked for a recipient and submit your timesheet. To do this, log in by entering your username and password and selecting the Login button. It is important to note that if you enter your username or password incorrectly 5 times in a row, you will be locked out of your account. Please contact the IHSS Service Desk for assistance. If you are unable to remember your username or password while logging in, select the Forgot Username or Password link to receive a password reset link. Now, let's continue with your time entry. On the main landing page, there are a few different ways you can access your timesheets. One way is to select the Electronic Timesheets link on the top menu bar, and in the drop-down list, select the Timesheet Entry link under the Electronic Timesheets options. Another way you can access your timesheets is to click on the Timesheet Entry link. This will take you to the Timesheet Entry Recipient Selection screen. Please note, the recipient name you see listed on your screen is just for this example. Once you log into your account, you will see the names of your recipient or recipients listed on your home page. Once you are on the Timesheet Entry Recipient Selection screen, you will see a list of all the recipients that you work for. In this example, you have one recipient, Paul Pinetree. On this screen, you can also see information on your most recent payment. For example, the amount on your paycheck, the status of your payment, and the pay period for which you received your payment. To continue to access your timesheets for this recipient, click on the blue arrow on the right side. If you have multiple recipients, select the blue arrow next to the recipient for whom you want to enter your hours worked. Another way to access your timesheets, when you are on the main landing page, click on the recipient's name that you would like to enter your hours worked. After using any of the previously demonstrated ways, you will be taken to the Timesheet Entry screen. On the left side of the screen, you will be able to select a timesheet from the drop-down box. Please note, there may be multiple timesheets if you work for both WPCS and IHSS, or if you have not submitted timesheets for prior pay periods. Select the timesheet for the pay period you wish to enter time. You will be able to see the timesheet number, the status, as well as the status date. This screen also shows the available hours for the month. Please note, the available hours for the month will decrease after a timesheet has been processed for the month. You can see all of the work weeks that are a part of this pay period. And just below the work weeks is a timesheet total. You will see a total for all of the time you have entered and saved for this pay period. Now, it is time to enter your hours worked for this recipient. To do this, select the arrow for the work week you would like to enter hours for. This will expand the Timesheet Entry screen. When the work week expands, you will see a column for all of the days within the work week. Remember, work weeks are Sunday through Saturday. To the right, you will see a column for your hours worked. This is where you will enter your time. You have the ability to enter your hours and minutes that you worked. Next, you will see a column to enter your start time, a column to enter your end time, and a column to enter your location. At the bottom of the timesheet, you will see a timesheet total. This will provide a total of the time that you have entered for this timesheet. Below the location column, there is a previously claimed hours total and a work week total, and you will see in this example that it has 10 hours listed for both totals. This is because, in this example, displayed in gray on Sunday, March 31st, you claimed 10 hours from the previous pay period. The days displayed in gray are from a previous pay period and are not eligible for time entry during this pay period. You cannot enter hours here. However, those previously claimed hours are a part of your work week total because they were claimed for the current work week. The days displayed in black are for the days you can enter your time worked. Let's go over what each entry field on your timesheet means. The hours worked are the hours that you worked that day. The minutes worked are the minutes you worked that day. The start time is the time the first service begins on that day for that recipient. The end time is the time the last service is completed on that day for that recipient. And the location. GPS is not tracking your location. You will need to select a location where the services were provided. The options available to you to select are home, community, or both. Select home if the services were provided in your recipient's home. Select community if the services were provided outside of your recipient's home. Or select both if the services were provided both inside your recipient's home and outside your recipient's home during the workday. Here are some helpful hints when filling out your timesheet. The time between your start time and your end time may not match your hours worked for a day. For example, your start time for your recipient was 8 a.m. and your end time for the recipient was 12 p.m. for a total of 4 hours. However, your hours worked for your recipient was 3 hours. Remember, you will be paid based on your total hours worked, not the time between your start time and end time. If you work for multiple recipients on the same day, it is possible for your start times and your end times to overlap for each recipient. Just like today, you will fill out one timesheet for each recipient you provide services for. And you have the ability to fill out your timesheets daily, weekly, or at the end of the pay period, whatever is convenient for you. Now, let's take a look at how to enter time on a timesheet. We will start by entering time for Monday, April 1st. To do this, click the appropriate box, either for hours or minutes in the hours worked column. In our example, in the hours box, we will enter 10, for 10 hours worked on this day. In the minutes box, we will enter 30, for 30 minutes worked on this day. For the start time, we will enter 8 o'clock. In the box next to our start time entry, we need to select if our start time is in the AM or in the PM. To do this, select from a drop-down list. We will select AM. For the end time, we will enter 7 o'clock. And then select PM from the drop-down list. For the location, we need to select if the location of services provided was home, community, or both from the drop-down list. We will select home. On Tuesday, April 2nd, for the hours worked, we will enter 7 hours and 45 minutes. For start time, we will enter 9:30 and select AM. For end time, we will enter 6:45 and select PM. For location, we will select community. On Wednesday, April 3rd, for the hours worked, we will enter 8 hours and 30 minutes. For start time, we will enter 9:15 and select AM. For end time, we will enter 6:30 and select PM. For location, we will select both. We will continue to enter time for the remaining days in the work week. For Thursday, April 4th, our entries are displayed. For Friday, April 5th, our entries are displayed. For Saturday, April 6th, since no time was entered for time worked, start time, end time, and location can all be left blank. Please note, for Thursday, April 4th, our start time entry is 12 a.m. and the end time entry is 11:59 p.m. For those providers whose recipients require services on and off throughout the day, entering 12 a.m. for the start time and 11:59 p.m. for the end time is an acceptable way to enter this time. Please note that if you try to key in a number greater than 24 in the hours box or greater than 59 in the minutes box, an error message will appear and you will need to correct your entry. Notice at the bottom of your screen there is a timesheet total. The timesheet total is a total of all time entered and saved for the timesheet you are entering time. In our example, we see a total of 0 hours. This is because you need to save your time entered. When you save your time entered, the hours and minutes will be updated in the workweek total, 53 hours and 15 minutes, and the timesheet total, 43 hours and 15 minutes. Remember, on Sunday, March 31st, you worked 10 hours, so those hours are added to your work week. You will continue to enter all of the hours or minutes for the days and weeks that you worked in the pay period. To do this, select the arrow to the right of the work week that you want to enter your time worked. Once you have entered all of your hours for the pay period, you will then select the Submit Timesheet button. Please note, you will not be able to submit time for a future date. When entering time for a day, all fields require an entry for that day. You will receive prompts informing you if you made an error while filling out your timesheets. For example, hours entry cannot be greater than 24, or minutes entry cannot be greater than 59, or hours worked cannot be greater than time at location. For example, your start time for your recipient was 8 a.m. and your end time was 12 p.m. for a total of 4 hours. However, your hours worked for your recipient was 6 hours. You will have the ability to correct these mistakes and cannot submit a timesheet with errors. In some instances, after you select the button to submit your timesheet, you may receive a helpful message warning you that the time you entered may cause a timesheet violation. In this example, the hours entered exceed the weekly hours. What this means is, by submitting this timesheet, this might cause you to exceed your monthly overtime hours, which could cause a timesheet violation. If you made a mistake and want to change the time entered, then select the Cancel button. This will take you back to the Timesheet Entry screen, so you may change any time you have entered. If you are sure the time entered is correct and you still want to submit your time, then select the Continue Submitting Timesheet button. After successfully submitting your timesheet, you will be taken to the electronic signature screen. On this screen, you will read the declaration paragraph and then check the Agree to Terms box that you agree to the terms. Please note that you will not be able to submit your timesheet for recipient review without checking the Agree to Terms box. If you changed your mind or made a mistake, there's still time to fix it. You can select the Cancel Submit button and make your changes. However, if everything is true and correct, you may select the Electronically Sign Timesheet and Submit for Recipient Review button. After you have submitted your timesheet for recipient review, you will see a pop-up box letting you know the timesheet information has been submitted. A notification will be sent to the recipient requesting electronic review of this timesheet. Reminder notifications will be sent periodically to your recipient to remind them they have a timesheet to approve. Then, select the OK button. This concludes the electronic visit verification informational video for the Electronic Services Portal website, Time Entry for Providers. Please continue to view additional informational videos at the highlighted website address to learn more about the Electronic Services Portal website.